Five, four, three, two, one.
Afternoon, people. Welcome back to Mufc Realist TV. This is Mick Ruby, your host for this channel, together with my guest in the background, Mark, MUFC fan. As per usual, we're here to react on Erik ten Hag's press conference, and we got a win. We're playing at home against Galatasaray under the floodlights at Theatre of Dreams tomorrow. And God, did we analyze ten Hag's press conference? And there was some positive news. There was some little bit uncomfortable questions asked by certain journalists. We're going to unpack everything. So welcome to the stream, people. We are playing tomorrow, and how excited are you? Please, before we continue, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, because here we go. Welcome to the stream, Mark. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good. It's just a tough day again in the office. You know, before another big game, we need to win. The team needs to be positive. Everyone needs to just support the team right now. The manager is in a tough situation, but he seems like he has a more positive outlook than everyone else. And I think there's some credit to that because he's seen some things. And I trust what he said in the press conference. I might disagree with some things based on what I'm seeing, but at the end of the day, the manager sees more than I do.
Then our manager knows better than what we see at the end of the day. Like, you know, what you say, tough day at the office is, you got to fight in the ring when you get in there. Like, you know, and I think that he handled that press conference quite well. To be honest, like, he had his punching gloves, but he was humble. There was some cheeky below the belt punches by the press. Certainly, like, there was some. It felt like a little bit of you get one question asked, and there was some Me Too question regarding Antony's situation, and what I just thought that I was discussing when I heard that question. What has that to do with the football tomorrow? Like, you know, what do you think about, you know, Antony returning back? What the fans is going to say, minority of the fans, like, you know, and he just looked like this and just like, well, obviously he's been cleared, he's been charged, not charged. And I'm just thinking to myself, Mark, like, you know, you get one opportunity to ask a good question, invited for that press conference, and you come up with this. What's your thoughts around that?
Well, I was
We'll
listening to
let
the
that
press
person in.
conference. Yeah, I was listening to the press conference. I was hearing one or two good questions come in. Things were starting to seem like it was rolling on smooth. And then this lady just comes in and asks this question. And I'm like, why? I'm like, it doesn't say anything about the game. It doesn't support the situation with the team. It doesn't question the manager and his decision making. It doesn't question the performances of any players that you might be in question for, or the want to see any players. It just doesn't do anything. It's just like this buzz statement that creates pressure because, oh, let's not forget, what about the victims? I mean, it's not
Yeah.
like I'm trying to say they don't deserve to be highlighted and taken seriously and these things. This is very important and serious, but at the meantime, the police are handling the matter.
Mm.
It's before the legal system. Let's trust the legal process and let's focus on football because it's about football at the end of the day.
It is about football at the end of the day. I mean, it's about asking the right questions. You're privileged to come in here. You mean we're playing Premier League. I mean, Champions League, the biggest competition in football. You know what I mean? Next to the Football Mundial, the World Cup, and yeah, there's a broad international journalists there from Turkey, from Galatasaray. There's the, you know, journalistic elites, and even Flex was there, like, you know, from the fan channels, and you can tell who ask a really footballing question. It is basically the fan community channels, right? And then you have the same apparatus, like, you know, Simon Stone, BBC, and all them stuff. But I think all in all, like, you know, they asked some really good questions. You had Rafael Varane sitting there looking confident, Mr. Champions League himself, like, you know, experience, like, I won it 3 times. Was it
Yeah,
4? Yeah,
it was four.
four
And I,
times.
yeah, and I think he answered the questions really well. I think he was very as honest as he possibly could be, and he gave a very, I mean, I would say a solid response. I don't
Yeah.
think it's exaggerated or anything like that.
I mean, what a way to set an example to, like, next to the manager that's been criticized heavily due to some very, very weird injuries, to put Mr. Royce Varane, Mr. Experience, Mr. Cool and Composed himself, 4-time Champions League winner, next to him. I mean, he was just cool, composed, calm, and confident. I like that, like, and of course he was thrown a couple of questions, so like, but we had a little bit of a torrid result, and I can understand that some media apparatus wants to write sort of gossip questions regarding us to succeed, but it's a must-win game. I feel kind of like, especially, I mean, we passed that Crystal Palace game in 3-1 in aggregate. If you look at it, 2 games we played them, right, in the cup, and 3-1. So I made a score prediction the other day when we were playing them at Old Trafford. I said 3-1 United, and it turned out to be 3-1 United, Mark, but in aggregate.
Yeah, it turned out that
So
way. I mean, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. I'm just going through the notes here. So, you know, what was your takeaway from the overall press conference, my friend? Like, I have a few notes there as well.
My overall takeaway is that it would be a positive for the youth players from if they were to be listening to what was said in the press conference. It highlighted some of the negatives. They weren't shying away from that. It was mostly seemed like the team is trying to move forward and get past the fact that they didn't perform too well. I feel like the manager handled himself pretty well. He was composed. He answered the question in the best way he see fit, and I can't really argue it with the press conference. Like, I would have liked more questions to be asked based on like more football, like about Ganacho and Palestri, and
Mm-hmm.
how does the dynamic work? How does he see the attack developing? And you know what I mean? But at the same time, we just have to look at the football.
Yeah, and everyone that's tuned into this stream, welcome, welcome, welcome. I can see you in the VER room. He was asked a question about the VER, but he was kind of protecting himself because you don't want to speak against that machine. You know what I mean? Because you get shut down quickly. This has kind of become a little bit of an authoritarian entity. Like, we are small knit. Okay, we made a mistake, but they got to be punished. What I see, like, how they constructed, especially in the I'm thinking about what happened over Liverpool, right? Nobody should ever experience that, and what we've been experiencing as well, human error. I mean, I'm thinking you have spent millions of dollars in that technology and you can't even get it right. This just tells you the incompetence, I think, as well. But also when we played like Bayern Munich last time, we got done by VR as well. Like, that's 100%, because that was the first time that I saw ever in a European League competition that check was complete and was retracted to say to the referee to come and check it, right? I think that the way forward here, I don't know if you agree with me, it's just that the referee should always have the final say and overrule. Like, he shouldn't be influenced by the VR. VR is there to assist the clear and obvious error. Now, the umpire should be the umpire on the field. Like, if you said called it, or if it's some suspicious penalty, then you can check, right? But now I feel like the VR is kind of taking the glory of the game, taking away the glory. Like, if it's a goal, you have to wait for 1 minute check for celebration. I mean, but it was asked about the question mark, and how do you think he handled that?
I think he done it superbly because from the way I see it, because we are Manchester United, I'm sorry to say that, but if we was to say we were unfairly done, then we would get penalized even further. We might even get fined, because I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I heard Liverpool is getting fined.
They're getting fined, yeah. And
Yeah,
even
so
yeah, they are getting fined. And this is what I find remarkable. Like, are you not allowed to question? Like, they changed the rules in such a ways that you cannot even speak to the umpires, the referees, and they keep rotating. So what if it's Darren England or Atwell or whoever it's refereeing? If they're not refereeing, they're sitting in the VAR room. So there's a close knit of referees, like, and they know each other and they back each other, and that's the problem. That is the problem. So it's he made it clear. But anyway, this is not like in a Premier. This is Champions League. But same goes there, right?
yeah,
So
I think
but he chose not to sort of upset that apple card, which is wise. Hopefully, we
yeah, I
get
think
some
it,
favorable rulings.
yeah, I think it's the best choice. You know what I mean? Like, at the moment, we may have had a bit of an argument for one or two calls in the game on Saturday, but at the same time, the limelight is on Liverpool. Let them spearhead the attack. We already know as fans and as a club the problems we face with poor refereeing. And in my honest opinion, it's the problem for me with the refereeing today is there's no consistency. Everyone has a different interpretation of the rule, and then they back each other. Like, how could you all be learning the same rules but have no consistency? I
Yep.
question that.
Yeah, for everyone that's tuning in, this is live, as live as it can get. You can see we're displaying the comments. So big up for everyone that's tuning in. It is live, 100%. Kenny Fan TV, big up to you as well. Stay positive, and we will beat Galatasaray 100%. We can do it. The special one is here as well. When we're talking about Jose Mourinho, say, okay, thanks, it's live. Fat Tor is here for some therapy. Peter is saying here, Alien Tenno, big up, Mick, Mark, and chat. Hope you're well as well. Yali Malmin is here as well. I'm going to go to the comments as well. I want to stay positive, but what happened against Crystal Palace has popped the balloon. It will take a winning streak for at least 10 games for me to get positive again. We have to stay positive. I mean, at the end of the day, what would life be, and what would you be as a human being if you're constantly, beating yourself up, being negative, right? I'm trying not to do that. Yes, it hurts to lose one game. You got to lick your wound and you got to pick yourself up. And it's like that Chabawanga song. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You got to think that mentality, right? So, I mean, I understand, because we're so invested, but we got to believe in this, and you got to look at the circumstances. It's not the manager's fault, it's not the player's fault. Of course, they're falling muscle injuries. We've been covering these so many times, but it's been a weird season, a lot of muscle injuries, and we just have to fight. We have to hover on one leg. And what I heard, that Malassi is coming back within 3 weeks, so we're probably gonna have a full left back, so Amrabat can go into middle. But yeah, I mean, it has been a little bit of a weird season, since we haven't had such a bad start since 1958, but it explains because of injuries. Mark, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I go back again and I say we played 65 games last season.
Yeah,
That's
we did.
12 more than Man City, 15 more than Liverpool, 20 more than Arsenal. And then we came third. We played in 2 cup finals and we won 1. So,
Yes,
I
true.
mean, these guys aren't robots. They got, 2 weeks vacation, 2 weeks to rest? These guys are going to go through this. It's almost as though Liverpool had the same situation last season when they were going for a quadruple, right? And they fell off in the first 3 months, and then after that, they were flying. Now, I'm not saying United is going to be flying, but if we look at last season, because that's the barometer with this manager, we went on a 23-game unbeaten run. And who's to say we can't do that or better that this season? I mean, we are having some bad games, but it's only 6-7 games in. There's 31 left.
You got a point there, my friend, because you said 65, 68 games. What did you say? Total figure was 65 games, right? Yes.
Yeah.
And then we played Europa League, we played Europa League Thursday, then we were scheduled to play Sunday and then midweek, and so 3 games a week. And on top of that, only 4 weeks rest, and back into training again, and back into pre-tour and pre-season tour. And of course, you need recovery, you need rest. And on the other hand, we haven't had proper sports science department, physios to take care of. And this is what you see City have, the top of the art facilities, and physios and therapists and everything. So they keep themselves fit, to be honest. But everyone has to have the fair share of injuries. We just happen to have now in the beginning of the season. So it is a big game tomorrow. So I want to dive right into everyone is in the house here. Big up to all of you. We will read out your comments below. Saha is also in the house, but Saha and Icardi, they are we know Wilfred Saha, of course. Icardi's, they have good squad, but they're a little bit of an aging squad as well, right? So they're not doing so well in the Turkish league, and we will cover this tonight as well in the preview. I just want to focus on the team news as well, because he was asked about Antony, and he said yes, Antony will be in consideration. That's what he said. He's been training. He had his first training at Carrington. He's welcome. That is the team news. And he said also regarding confirmation of Leach Martinez that he will have a surgery on his metatarsus foot again. I think he was rushed back into it. He was playing on painkillers. And that kind of explains, Mark, that we haven't seen that same Leach since we saw, the same form Leach as of last season.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. And some fans might go on and say, well, the manager shouldn't play him on injury. Some fans might go on and say, well, maybe, what's going on here. But when I look at that, I look at a player that says to his manager, like, boss, I'm backing you. I know you don't have anyone else. I'm going to play through this injury, and then hopefully it don't get worse. And if it does, so be it, boss. But I'm giving you this 100. And maybe that might be the wrong thing. But in the time, it's something that might, I don't know, it might galvanize members of the team who weren't giving 100 when they realize what's happening now. It might do better for the team, and it shows that the players back, some of them back the manager at least.
Yeah. Now the key questions that I took away was, at least from a footballing sense, that was the two questions. He was also asked about when you don't have. He said basically when you don't have a fullback on the left side, you have to change, and we did. So he's adding Sofian Amrabat to fill that, and that's why he said, Malacia is like to come back. Luke Shaw is coming back. It looks like Malacia is coming back after the international break. Wan-Bissaka is injured. Lisandro Martin is out. Kobe Mainoo is coming back. Ahmad is coming back. Jadon Sancho is not available at all. They didn't ask about Jadon Sancho, and Donny van de Beek is not registered to play in Champions League though. However, he was also asked about Marcus Rashford at this point of view as well, and I think he handled that one pretty well as well. So what he was saying, he was kind of backing Marcus as he has to do. He knows he can do better, he said, and he has to show them. And I think Flex asked a good question. What about kind of a masked question, like, should you play your best players that is on form, or should you drop them? How did you take that question?
I was so happy when I heard Frex's question, because it speaks to everything that the fans are talking about right now. What we think is the problem. And at the same time, it gave the manager a chance to not only back Rashford, but allow fair criticism on his game and a little bit on the team, because at the end of the day, it's a team performance. And yes, a lot of focus is on Rashford, but this is the time you have to back him. You know what I mean? And it's like, if we didn't back him and he just called him out, we probably had a worse than a Jadon Sancho situation all over again. So I think he handled it perfectly, in my opinion.
100%. I agree with you. Glazes out. Absolutely, Danny. I agree with you. Glazes out. So the important questions was basically, there was also asking about Rashford. He nipped it in the bud in a way, and that doesn't leave for speculations. Will Rashford start over Garnacho? How will he line up? Personally, I've seen the fan base, and I also think that I'm not against Rashford, but I'm against you shouldn't play yourself into form. Like, you should sit down on the bench and let the person that is better than you at the moment to play. I don't think that Antony will be, giving a start. He just came back from training. I think they were featuring on the bench, but I would see more of a youthful, vibrant attack. Start what you had the last time, like, start with Garnacho, start with Pelistri as a wingers, and Højlund. He was asked about Højlund as well.
Yeah, he was. And Højlund is developed, like, in my honest opinion, if I was to give my approach to it, Højlund did the basics at Atalanta, and he's come here now to develop himself as a forward. And this is very good for our team. And
we have a Mauro Icardi here as well. Mauro, hope you have a good game tomorrow. Mauro, yes, continue.
So, like, I'm looking forward to, as the manager was saying, Højlund is doing the right things. He's making the right purchases, but he just needs to get more into it and work hard. And the manager's message is clear. The team needs to work harder. They need to give a little bit more and be a little bit more selfless and play as a team.
Halil Kaya, are you a Galatasaray fan by any chance? Tomorrow, Man United is crying. Let me know in the comments if you are a Galatasaray fan. I would like to speak to you, but I understand your team better if you are. drop a comment if you are a Galatasaray. I don't think we will cry tomorrow. We will see. I mean, if you are a Galatasaray fan, I would like to speak to you because we're doing a preview later on, and I would like to hear from some Galatasaray fans to see, like, understand a little bit more about your team, because I've been doing my research. Jarvis been doing his research, and we're going to present that tonight. Yes, you looks like you are, because you're saying Zaha and Icardi will crush you. We see. Eli Antony is basically saying United played 65 out of possible 68 games last season, Europa League semi-finals and all the cup games as well.
Yeah.
Only the finals was missing. Yeah, true. Welcome to the stream, Luke Chapman. What are you saying? Stuff Northampton Town, my birthday, Metal Street sign, print, mega flag, scarf, pin badge. Don't really understood what that mean, but anyway, that didn't make any sense. Well, we have Mauro Icardi here. You will find out who he is tomorrow. Big up for everyone that's tuning in. Simon Heron as well. Sancho at home eating Doritos and gaming, probably. I don't know. We're not going to go in on Sancho. That is a story for itself. Billy Connolly, welcome to the stream. A person that calls himself Icardi in here must be crazy. The guy is old and not top class. Is he really? Yeah, no, I mean, Galatasaray is, Istanbul's one of the Istanbul's top teams as well. But I don't know where they're sitting in the league at the moment. I think it was third or something like that, if I remember. Not really good. But I mean, of course, we saw Fred going to Fenerbahce as well. Like, these are where players go to in the aging stage of their careers as well. Now, it's a beautiful league. I mean, it's a beautiful, the fan base over there at Galatasaray are absolutely insane. It's massive fan base, right?
Massive.
But going there is difficult. But going away, they're not doing so well, per my research and understanding. RJ saying basically Antony will be good for Højlund and Martial, in my opinion. Big up. Well, Rashford is greedy, but he needs to learn. I can see your comments as well. He needs to learn to pass. We've been talking about this so many times. Mark, football is a simple game, isn't it? Like, it is a game.
It is a game, and it's pretty simple. I think now in the modern day, with all the different tacticals and different things, people make it a lot more complicated than it seems, with the tuck in from the left and the fill into the midfield. Like the inverted on left backs, the inverted right wingers and stuff like that. I think at the end of the day, players need to do the basics well, consistently, and that is what will develop and open the game for them to do the tricks and flicks. So, like, maybe I think it's consistency. With the team right now, we need a basis of consistency from somewhere. And in the first couple of games, people could say what they will, but we had a certain level of consistency on the right when Antony was in the team, because he provides that same essence. He provides every game. He comes in, he fights, he tracks back, and he tries. And if he gets a chance forward, he shoots. Sometimes he will miss, sometimes he scores.
So I totally agree that you can tell that he's been missing, because Antony offers something in terms of defensive, like he's quick, he's fast, and he's tricky. The only thing is his end product at the end of the day that's kind of letting him down, right? So it's been like, it's been a little bit misbalanced at the same time. But what I'm trying to say, that football is very simple. Just keep the basics. I mean, we have the highest XG, and we got a striker that we kind of missed last season, but we're not playing into his strengths. We're not building the game around him. And I think that Rashford hasn't really sort of got that in his head as of yet, because last season he was carrying the team.
The thing for me with Rashford is when his game's not going his way, he gets frustrated.
Yeah.
Right? But if a lot of the games where he got frustrated last season, I don't know if people know this, but sometimes when the things happen, you would see Antony run across and whisper something to him. And I don't know if he's be telling him, "No, just go at it again. Just go again." You know what I mean? So
anyone that's a coach, like, you would take him away from the limelight. Like, there's no point. If you're frustrated, you will not do better. Just calm yourself down. Calm down, boy. Like, it's like you're going into a boxing ring and you're too overheated, over frustrated. You're gonna get knocked down at the end of the day. Like, so it's better to take your down, cool off a bit, and just come back, clear your head, think of what you're doing. Analyze yourself, look at the videos, look up past, like, I do understand that. You know, it's like that song, like, with Coldplay, "Lights Will Guide You Home." When you try your best but you don't succeed, right?
Yeah.
When you try your best but you don't succeed, when you get what you want, when you give what you want, yeah, yeah, it's pure greed. You're
Yeah,
stuck
yeah.
in reverse. But lights will guide you home. At the end of the day, there is a player in Rashford, and he just has to find his form. The manager sort of kind of said that in the press conference. He's got it in him, but he just hasn't found his how do I say? What did he
His,
say?
his mojo this season.
His
His
mojo,
consistent.
yes,
Yeah.
his mojo. So I wouldn't say, like, some people saying Abi here said drop Rashford and start Martial, because I think Martial is in better form at the moment, right?
Yeah, I think
Wh-
Marshall is in better form, but I don't think Marshall is going to give us a performance on the wing. I mean, he doesn't have the speed that he had a few seasons ago. So I think if we're going to drop Rashford, the only obvious solution is to bring in Ganacho. And to be fair, like I felt a bit hard done for him midweek. I mean, on the weekend, because he performed really well after he got dropped for not performing well at the beginning of the season. And he deserves some consistency with his start time based on his performances. So I'm looking forward to maybe him starting for like maybe
Hmm.
just the first half, and then Rashford comes in the second half and does a mad one, maybe. But like hopefully, like we see some of the youths come back. I look forward to seeing Medjugorje come back into the team. I think
Yeah,
we
Mejbri.
missed what he provided, and I'm not a fan, but we missed what he provides in the team. So
Well, I think that he rested Mejbri over the weekend, because that gives you kind of an indication that Mejbri might start, because we need those energy. Mejbri is a pressing animal. He's a running animal. He provides you legs, to be honest, like he does. It's going to be very interesting to see who he selects if Rashford's going to be dropped. I mean, drop means that you start him off the bench or just
yeah,
bring him in the second half. You know, it's important that we have a positive start, like on the first half, that we go on the front foot. Get a few goals in. Provide the width, like play Garnacho there on the width. But I don't know if he's going to start Antony, and he's got options there. He's got Antony, he's got Pelistri, and then in the midfield, like of course, you have Casemiro, of course, like the experienced Casemiro, and the back line with Royce Varane. Up front will be 100% Hoyland. So it's going to be interesting. He was asked a question about their opponent, and he mentioned Hakim Ziyech, if he's fit, but of course he managed Hakim Ziyech.
mhm.
But they have, if I look at the teams, they have Hakim Ziyech, Wilfred Zaha, Mauro Icardi, Tete, Dries Mertens, Sergio Oliveira, Demiri, and Dombele as well from Spurs. But it's like graveyard shift. Like Ndombele was a reject from Spurs as well. Lucas Torreira, ex Arsenal, reject as well. Angelino, Davidson Sanchez as well. Good players, but
Mhm.
in the past players. But on the day they can rock up and turn up for form. Like never underestimate anyone. It's football at the end of the day. Ziyech's injury, and I understand that as well. I kind of understood that as well, as per my research. Mauro Icardi. Good that you mentioned it, because Ziyech is injured, and feel sorry for Ziyech. He's such a talented player, but never such an injury-prone player as well. Like never had a career kicked
Yeah,
down since he
it's
left.
difficult. It's difficult when you know you have all the talent in the world and your body is just not holding up for you. You know what I mean? Sometimes
Mm,
you can blame it on the amount of games a player play, or you could blame it on the medical staff and not proper
yeah.
recovery and stuff like that. But it's just
Yeah.
life sometimes.
Kenny Fan TV reckons Antony definitely is walking into this team. What's your thoughts and feelings of that, Mark? Do you think he will get a free pass to walk straight into the team? Is the manager been so desperate to miss him, or is it a
I
little
think
bit too
the
early to soon?
I think the manager does miss him in the team, but this is just my opinion. I think what's going to be best for the team is that Pelestri starts and you bring on Anthony halftime.
Hmm. Cool. I don't think is there anything else that we could extract from that 15 minutes press conference. There was not much to extract more than, you saw a determined Ten Hag. He was angry, pissed off. He knew that we can do better. He was asked about his playing style, if it's so he said we are on the right track. We are getting better and better, but however, we had to shuffle and shuffle and shuffle. And of course, if you don't have the right players for your right system, you have to sort of reshuffle your cards a little bit. So basically, I feel sorry for him, to be honest.
Yeah, I do as well, because I mean, he had one season with the team. He performed. The team did really well. I would think, from my perspective, we had an overachievement last season in all expectations and
Mm,
fairness. But at the same time, Man United is a results-based club. Like, the fan base,
yeah,
they all
still demand.
usually, we would say, we would back the manager. We want to see youth, but we also want to win every game.
No, I think more than ever that the fan base they want to see good football performances. That's the thing over the result. That's what I understood lately by analyzing social media and stuff like that. But I think at this point of time, and this is my personal opinion, it's just to get by till everyone gets injured and fresh, just to get the results in. Like, I ain't matter how you playing right now. It's just to get those 3 points. Like, every game matters. Like, just knowing what we have right now, we're limping on one leg. So basically, getting like results is what matters now, right now. And how we play, that we can sort out after Christmas when everyone is fit and firing.
Exactly. Like, I don't believe that we should be, like, making issues over, like, not a great performance, but we should be getting results.
Results,
Even
yeah,
if it's a 1-0 victory, we need to get those results, and those results
100%.
should be satisfying. We are missing 12 players through injury.
Yeah.
Like, that is crazy.
Yep. Alien Tenor is coming in here as his front five. Rashford left wing, Antony right wing, Hoyland center forward, Bruno Mount in behind, and it's so predictable. Well, that's like a little bit of ironic. What do you think that Ten Hag will pick? At the end of the day, we don't know what the man is going to pick. It's all about, we'll see tomorrow. Like, Holly is saying Rashford will crush us, so he's scared of Rashford. So you are a Galatasaray fan, Halil. Hey, عيد النهارده. شكرهم شكرهم. Yeah, so do you remember what you say? We have a couple of Galatasaray fans in, which is beautiful to see. Do you remember the last Galatasaray Manchester United game? The legendary coaches of both teams were at the helm, Sir Alex Ferguson and Fatih Terim. Yes, that's a big one, mate. Is that your dog?
Oh no, it's a neighbor's dog, actually.
Oh, it sounds like a husky dog. It is a husky dog.
Yeah, it is, but it's my neighbor's dog. He's like all the way over there.
Oh my god, you can hear it all the way from here on the
Yeah.
stream. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. Amrabat will definitely play left back. We were kind of gonna cover this later on in tonight's stream. Ivo Bosic came in here all the way. He woke up all the way in Australia, or maybe he's already awake. I don't even care anymore who he picks. It's more about like his favorites. Listen, Ivo, I don't care who he picks at the moment, as long as we get results. That's what I'm trying to say. Recognizing the current injury situation, any point that we can get, like, I'm just happy to take it. I take that, like, but I would not settle for a draw tomorrow. I would settle for a win. We need to win.
Yeah, we need to
we
win.
have to win against Copenhagen. We're playing Copenhagen home. We're playing Galatasaray at home as well. So we got to win those games.
Those
It's
are the
now
two
or
most
never.
important games.
I would say it's do or die right now.
Yeah, I would say it's do or die in the Champions League sense. Like, we need to win those two games. Those games are presented to us. A team is not in form going away, and another team that's not supposed to be superior to us. And we are at home in our fortress. I mean, it's leaking a little bit, but we got to shore it up and win those games. There is 1-0, 2-1. We have to win.
Peter will be live at the stadium tomorrow, so we're gonna do the warm up. So Peter's gonna buy a burger, but we're not sponsored by a certain burger chain. So big up Peter as well. We're gonna cover it. Last time we had Saeed and we had Peter and we had a lot of people coming in there to wish them well. But we jinx it at the end of the day. Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I want to ask you a question. I mean, barring the situation right now, Premier League. We are about 9 points away from top, from the city, right? 9 points. It's like 3 games, isn't it?
3 games, yeah.
3 victories away. Anything could happen. Ball is round. Is it too early to sort of say the season is over, or should you just now screw this season, just focus on cup games like Champions League, and let us rebuild next season with new owners?
No, I think it's naive to say the season is over because Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham, Brighton, Chelsea, they all have to play each other.
They have to,
Someone's
yeah.
going to drop points. Someone's going to drop 3 points. Someone's going to drop 6 points. Someone is going to drop 9 points. Someone might drop
Mm,
15 points. So
mm.
we still have a chance. And as long as we believed in our team, I think we might show up at the end of the season. The real important thing is staying within touching distance. So
Yeah.
if we could stay within 9 points, but come January, there's a fight for top four, and it's always
Oh, yeah.
like that. Now
It's always like that.
we dropped off last season, but at the end of the day, it's a first season in a rebuild.
Well, it could be a reverse then, because we were strong in that first season. We went on run and then we dropped off. So it could be a reverse cycle there. Like, we start slow and then we come strong at the end. Same what Liverpool did, same what the City did as well. Right.
Yeah, and I'm saying, like, as a fan who watches football, if I compared Erik Ten Hag and our rebuild to the City, the Liverpool, the Arsenal rebuild, technically we are ahead of their rebuilds and phases by about two seasons, even
Yeah.
though it's bad this season. So, like, it's only 7 games. We still have 9 points. There's 31 games left. 93 points are still up on offer. So
True, and I'm not panicking as of yet. I can understand some people are thinking. I think never let your fear and emotions clog your judgment at the end of the day, because you can't see the forest from the trees if you think like that. You're right, absolutely right. The ball is round and anything can happen. Like, is the Newton's law, is the law of physics. What comes up must come down. The people that sits right now on the top, they don't have their injuries at the moment. City don't have their injuries except Kevin Bruyne, De Bruyne. Arsenal is right up there as well. They have a little bit of injuries, but not as much as what we do. But come January, rest assured, the second half of the season, these teams going to pick up injuries as well. It's inevitable. That's the law of
exactly.
physics, right? What comes up must come down. And then we had our fair shares of injuries, so we probably looking forward to kick off the second half of the season, because a run can be made in the second half as well. To be
Yeah, a run
honest.
could be made. We seen it last season with Liverpool, and they got fifth. And you know
Mm.
what? Fifth, people might say it's a bad thing, but fifth
Yeah.
gets us Champions League
But
next
you know
season.
what? It's the hope that kills you. So just take game by game and don't let jinx it. I'm just trying to stay positive in my thought process, to say, look, yes, hurting loses. I hate to lose, but at the end of the day, you got to look forward and say, like, hey, I'm not gonna give up this fight. To be honest, why should I give up as a fight as a fan? No, I shouldn't. Right? I shouldn't just call it the quits. Right? Yeah, I can understand if we, come December, that we just fighting the relegation, then it's just game over, Red Rover, park the car and close the garage. But right now, we look at the table, it is not, it's a false table at the moment, is what we're trying to say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not a point in time for fans to be panicking and throwing their toys off the pram. Yeah, we're doing badly, and yeah, this is unacceptable for Man United. But we have to remember our legacy as Man United as winners. We
Yeah.
haven't won much in the last 10 years. We haven't seen that legacy in the last 10 years, but we have seen moments last season where this legacy could be returning at some point. It's why we were so hyped last season, and why we
Mm.
thought that we're probably going to challenge this season for the league. And I mean, that's season 2, a manager's second year, and we're already thinking we're going to challenge for the league. If that's
Yeah.
not positive on what he's doing, then I don't know what is.
Hey, we're still in Carabao Cup. We're defending champions, to be honest, people, as well. Silverware. I mean, just before we close the shop, like, Kobe Mainoo is back in training. We understand that there is some positives. Like, I understood that Tyrell Malacia will be back after the international breaks, 3 weeks. Luke Shaw looks like he's coming back a little bit early as well. So yeah, that's all good. It's all good. We are a little bit balanced on the defense side of it, right? We currently only have one fullback that can play fullback, right? So that's Diego Deloy. So hopefully he will stay fit as well. Anyway, guys, brilliant for everyone for coming in. Sunny coming in as well. Big up to you. Listen, we will cover more in depth about the Champions League game later on tonight as well. We're doing the preview regarding Galatasaray and Manchester United, where Jarvis Cocker will be hosting. And Jarvis Cocker has done his extensive research, so it's going to be How do we beat Galatasaray? Guys, tune in to that show later on. We will post it up on this channel. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do smash a like. Please also follow Mark on his Twitter pages and all his socials. But Mark, can you tell you where people can find you if they don't know as of yet?
Oh, they can find me on Twitter as Mark MUFC Fan, United Marks, or they can find me on YouTube as Mark MUFC Fan. So it's like, yeah, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe. You can find me here on my Twitter, because I'm on Twitter. I use Instagram as well, but I'm not using Instagram so much more. Anyway, guys, come in later on to do a preview. If you are a Galatasaray, let me know, fan, because I will open up the floodgates for you to have you say about Galatasaray if that's your club to stay. It's been Mick Ruby here with Mark covering the press conference. We got to believe, we got to have victory. And we will see you later on tonight. That's all, folks, for today. Thank you for tuning in, and see you to the next one. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.